Hello and welcome everyone to a video that a lot of you have definitely been waiting a long time to do, and it's a juicy one, and it's one that a lot of other creators have been doing over the past couple of months. As we approach 10 years of Pokemon Go, it is time to deep dive into my Pokemon Go account, and I'm going to show you absolutely everything that I have to offer. We're going to go through all the 100%ers, the Shundos that a lot of you are very interested in, all the shinies, most amount of candy, shadow shinies, rarest Pokemon costumes, and the stats as well. After playing this game for a very, very long time, I actually started the 26th of July, so I think 2 weeks or so after it was fully released here in the UK, 2016. Here we are in 2026, just towards the tail end of March when we're recording this video. We have done 18 kilometers so far this week. Let's dive into the medals to start with. So you can't total up on the gym badges, I believe, but we have some gold gym badges. No matter, the medals. And now these actually do begin a long time ago, longer ago than that one. Liverpool 2020 City Explorer Pass. Don't know why that's the first one that appears, but it shouldn't be. This one here, Dortmund 2019, was my first Go Fest to go to. Early access, that was back when you could only play one day in the park and that was it. You had no city experience, no extended stay, no extra days or anything like that. So there you go. Of course, the Liverpool Safari Zone, which does tie in with the Explorer Pass there, I believe, was an event that was supposed to go live for 2020, but obviously got postponed due to that pandemic shenanigans. So October the 15th, 2021, we have that there. Scooting on through to 2020 with the Go Fest. It's all a bit of a mess, to be honest, because of all the when the medals are supposed to be released versus when they actually came out. And we've got Kanto Tour, we've got the Colossal Discovery. I did mention that video recently regarding the Hundo Regice. November the 2nd, 2019. What I believe was one of the first ever paid ticket experiences as a general event in the game. A Drive to Investigate was, actually at the time of recording this video, pretty much exactly 6 years ago. That was the first ever Genesect you could get. Special Research, Investigating Illusions, I forget what that was. Tap Tappity Tap, of course, that was the fabled Galarian Mr. Mime absolute rip-off of a ticket. A Special Weekend with Verizon, I think that was a nice partner research I got given by somebody. Info Rich, whatever that is. We've got SoftBank. I have no idea who gave these to me back in the day. It might have been Barside 2, it might have been somebody else over in Japan. Got Tully's Research. This doesn't quite symbolize the right thing because it says the Legacy Level 40 medal was acquired by December the 31st of 2020. I actually hit level 40 back in October or November of 2017 when one of the Johto Beasts was in its rotation. I seem to remember it was Raikou, in which case that would have made it November 2017 because they were regionally based and they rotated throughout the world. GoFest 2021 for the global July the 17th and 18th. We've got the Professor's Research, which is a trading card, which I don't think is available anymore. They're still dotted around. I've actually got some in my drawers somewhere. Global GoFest 2022, which had the beautiful, I think that was Shaman focused. 2 different global events, of course. June the 4th and 5th, and then we had the tail end on the 27th, which is when Masterful 27 got his Shundo Axew for the first time. Johto Tour with the gold medal, of course. I love Ho-Oh, much prefer it to Lugia, so we went with that. Building a Great League team, oh dear God. So yes, the World Championships back in London of 2022 when they were at the XL Centre, I think. That was a timed research we got for doing it. The Ultra Beast Arrival, that was such an interesting event, exclusive to somewhere in, I think it was LA and London. You can check out that video up there if you want to. Do it towards the end of the video because we've probably got a long way to go. All the Ultra Beasts cycling through in a very exclusive little pool of raids somewhere in central London at night with video projections and lights and everything. Seville Safari Zone. Now we're getting into the proper, I'd say, meat of the channel at this point, because 2022, that was the first live event post-COVID, really, that we traveled to. So early access, May the 13th, Sevilla Safari Zone. And we had Seattle Go Fest here, July 2022. We got the city experiences when city experiences started to become a thing. Eggthusiast, Raid Lover, obviously got to go for all the add-ons. Now into 23, Hoenn Tour, we went Groudon. Love myself a Groudon. That was actually claimed in Las Vegas. Las Vegas Hoenn Tour. There you go. We've got all of the different add-ons with Raid Lover, Eggthusiast. City experience, this is actually, I believe, for London Go Fest, the August 4th, the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday. There you go. We've got Friday Park Morning Experience, Eggthusiast. Enthusiast, Raid Lover, and then we come to New York 23. There we go, we got all the same medals again. The Global Go Fest, that was a really nice one. I've still got that on the t-shirt. Got that t-shirt, Mega Rayquaza. That's such a good design. City Safari for Barcelona. That was really, really good fun. And of course, Enthusiast, and of course, Raid Lover. Now we're into 24. We will get eventually to the stats, trust me. Sinnoh, we went with Diamond version for Dialga. I prefer Dialga to Palkia. Rotom Mystery Research being a part of that Sinnoh in LA when we went to LA for the first time. Now we've been 3 whole times. Of course, City Experience and Park Experience. This was a huge amount of medals with all the eggs and Raid Lover and everything, of course. Necrozma being focused for July's Go Fest of 2024. Really love the design. We've got the City Experience for New York. There you go. Back when it was at Randall's Island, of course. There you go. Friday Park Experience in Randall's Island. And we got the Saturday and the Sunday, because thanks Pokemon Go team for the tickets for that event. Go Wild 2024. Fantastic. That's the medal there. And you got the Electric Expert, because it was obviously Toxtricity. Choice between poison and electric. Went with electric. Back in LA for Unova, we've got all of those millions and millions of medals for every single version of the ticket. We did choose black version with the Reshiram. I probably should have gone the other way around, but I didn't clock that the medals were kind of inverted. It still looks really nice with the white Reshiram on the black background, actually. Milan City Safari, there we go, and we have multiple days of that. Enthusiast, Raid Lover, there you go. Go Fest, Zacian Zaman Center for June the 28th and 29th. There we go, fantastic. Jersey City Go Fest. Mark and I famously only played about 10 minutes of because of when our train arrived in the city. We have the Friday City Experience, Saturday, Sunday, and we got the park again and again and again and again and again. Every kind of option you've got. Again, thanks Pokemon Go team for the tickets for the event. Enthusiast, Raid Lover, and there we go, we're back into Paris now. We're getting to more recent times. Paris, all those sorts of things with the bonuses. Valencia City Safari. September the 27th and the 28th. Fantastic, love that weekend. Enthusiast, Raid Lover, obviously. Go Wild 25, we went with Dark Detective for that one, so the Dark Type medal, General Event medal, and now we're into stuff literally a month ago, at the time of recording this, I would say. Kalos Tour, 6 million different medals for that one, there you go. Mega Knight and Mega Knight and Mega Knight and everything. Kalos X version for the Global that we chose, and the Global ticket itself, and here we are. This is a bit more interesting. Let me know in the comments below, of course, what your medals are looking like and all the stats and things like that if you want to have a comparison. Maybe you've got more of something than I do. It's probably not that difficult, to be honest, given everyone plays the game in their own style, which is fantastic. But the Elite Collector medal, these are collection challenges. We are sat on the cusp of 300, and the most recent one would be the Pokopia event with the double dittos, but we can stroll all the way back, all the way back. I have never missed a collection challenge that I've had access to. That's the key thing. There are so many that we've missed out on because of not attending a certain event, but if it's been in my account, accessible, I have completed it. In fact, our very first one, I think, was when they introduced them in January of 2021, where we had the whole very long lead up to Kanto Tour. It was Unova Collection Challenge, Sinnoh, Ho, and Johto, and then we had Valentine's, and then Go Tour for the first time with Kanto, Pallet Town, Green, Pewter City, everything like that. And of course, we know about this as recent memory, to be honest, Legacy Level 50, achieved by October the 15th, 2025. You can actually see the video where I hit level 50. I hit it on the 12th of February, 2021. It was a big grind. I live streamed for near enough 12 hours, doing 1,000 excellence in just under 12 hours. With all of you guys back in the day, where my streaming setup was basically plugging in a potato and hoping for the best. Now we get into the crucial stats. So Jogger Medal, we have done 33,059.5 kilometers, all 100% legit, which is why my right knee's knackered. Kanto obviously got the Platinum Medal for that, 151. Collector, we have caught 744,432 Pokemon over the course of playing this game. That seems a suspiciously round number, to be honest. I promise I haven't set that up, but we've evolved exactly 11,000 different Pokemon. So we've hatched over 40,000 eggs now, 40,072 at this point. We have spun 689,332 Pokestomps, which I just have my Go++ going constantly. In terms of unique Pokestops, we've seen 17,847. I'm hoping that could increase because we've got some travel plans and bits and pieces in the not too distant future, actually. Let me know about you guys and the big Magikarp medal, the Fisher medal, and obviously the tiny rat one that's coming up probably very soon as well. 1,376. Considering how many times Magikarp has been featured in events, we're still only 376 over what you need to get the Platinum. Battle Girl, 14,736 battles in gyms have been, I guess, won. Here it is, the tiny Rattata. After all this time, we've still only seen 1,093. Pikachu fan, obviously Pikachu's featured every other event basically, so 14,776 Pikachu have been caught. We have the Platinum Unknown medal, courtesy of some very lucky alive events, I would say. Johto, 100 Pokemon for the dex. We've won. This is including, I think, mega raids and like the 1, 2, 3, 4 stars. Back in the day, we had 2 and 4 star raids. 10,305 have been won, but this is it here. We are very close to hitting 21,000 on the whole legendary raids. That's obviously where I put my raid passes, people. 20,978 legendary raids have been won. 35,291 berries have been fed to Pokemon in gyms. Gym leader, we've defended gyms over the course of this game. So I think this is since the new update. Maybe it's including the old gym system as well. 137,328 hours. 135 Ho-Oh Pokemon done. Field research, we just had the research day. 42,874 field research tasks. One of my favorite aspects of the game. Best friends in Pokemon Go, 359, almost one for every day of the year. Trading Pokemon, I like my trades. There are probably a load of you out there who've done more than this, but 45,750 Pokemon have been traded. In terms of the distance, that's how far apart the Pokemon were caught. Back in the day, I used to strategize with my friends, and basically the 7-kilometer egg Pokemon would be traded with something from here to get the maximum distance as best you could. 78,558,913 kilometers, and we've seen Smeargle, or different snapshot Pokemon, 1,748 times. 156 Pokemon for Unova, of course. We have purified just a shade over 1,300 Pokemon. I don't like doing that. It wastes Stardust in my view. Team Rocket Grunts, 14,763 have been defeated. 72 Pokemon for Kalos. We've completed that Pokedex. Triathlete. Now, this isn't statistically correct because Pokestop and Catch Streaks were available in the game prior to this medal, and it never synced up. This was notorious when it got added. People were like, I have definitely done more than this medal claims. So it's saying I've done 614, but I'm sure that is a lot higher in terms of realistic numbers. Rising Star, the number of different Pokemon species we've done raid battles for, 463. This is a more recent medal compared to when the raid medals got added as well. But Rising Star Duo, 26,069 raids have been won with a friend in-game. Lovely. Picnicker, how many Pokemon have been caught off of lures that you have dropped? 76,204. That definitely comes from being able to put lures down at things like the World Championships of 2022, Go Fest, live events, City Safaris, Safari Zones, and community days as well. We have Mega Evolved Pokemon 4,879 times, and that number is going to keep on climbing because every Hundo I have that can Mega Evolve is to get to tier 3 or 4 these days. 51 different Mega Pokemon have been evolved. That is the maximum you can get at this current stage, I believe. Raid Expert, this is an interesting one. Make that Raid Trainer achievement battle screen 500 times. We've done it 18,430. Tiny Pokemon Collector, these are fairly new medals. 3,312 tiny Pokemon. XXS Pokemon have been caught, and the opposite of that, XXL, you can definitely tell which one is more common, 4,666. We've completed 721 different party challenges with people. I don't use that feature as much because it tends to break the game a lot of the time. Showcases, we have won 123 now. We actually got our PhD Pikachu not too long ago, to be honest. Sinnoh Pokemon, we're obviously waiting on a few different things like Manaphy, Fiona, and Arceus to help complete that dex because that is as full as it can go. Great League Veteran, I have won 653 battles out of the 1,000 to get to Platinum. Ultra League, a measly 309. You can tell I don't do PvP that often. Master League, we're somewhat close to actually finally getting a Platinum medal on it. 964. And defeating Giovanni, we've defeated him 35 times, which I believe is the maximum you can get if you've defeated him every single time he's been available in the rotation with a new legendary. That has been bolstered by having extra Super Rocket Radars due to a box being available in the shop for a brief window of time that I bought and got like 7 Super Rocket Radars, quickly got taken away. Best Buddies, 118 Best Buddies out of the 200 to get Platinum, so that is definitely something I'm trying to progress on. 78 out of the 86 Alolan Pokemon to fill that dex. Galarian 67 out of the 89. Expert Navigator, we will boost this because of the Sustainability Week event that's happening not too far in the future. 515 routes completed out of the 600 needed. 6 out of the 7 Hisui Pokemon. I could get that, I think. I just need to evolve one different Pokemon, and I've never bothered. This used to be getting prestige and leveling up a gym back in 2016 and 17. Nowadays, you have to battle the team leaders through the battle screen. We could get that done, just as a bit of a slog. Paldia, 65 out of the 80 Pokemon that are available. Community Community member, we start to fall short on these things. 25 out of the 50 to get to gold. Friend finder is the referral code stuff. 3 out of the 10 to even get to silver. And finally, the Wayfarer, my absolute least favorite part of this integration. 14 Wayfarer agreements have been reached out of the 50 to get to bronze. So there we go, that is all my medals from highest to absolutely most tragic right there. Before we start looking at the awesome Pokemon stacked in my storage, or whether they're there to clog it up, who knows, I would like to say thanks very much to all of the wonderful Patreon squad people who are instrumental, and this is actually an interesting showcase because there's going to be tons of Pokemon here who are nicknamed after not only these guys, but many of you out there who've sent either invites, eggs, or whatever. Thank you very much to all of you guys for taking your support to the next level, because it means things like the live events that we can travel to, get those medals, do the events, and all the crazy challenges and all the catches and things like that. We're able to do this as a full-time thing thanks to all of that wonderful support and all of you guys who hit that subscribe button, watch the videos and comment and like. Appreciate every single one of you. Now we get into the juicy bits and pieces. This is my top tier Pokemon. I'll just show the first page, which is currently swamped by 600% IV Zacian, including a Shlundo, and then we've got Curems aplenty. And right in the bottom right hand corner, you can see underneath the CP icon there is the Shundo Regigigas. But I am taking a lot of inspiration from Pokédax's video that he did many weeks ago on this one. We're always sitting at quite a low amount of Stardust because I spend it. Used to spend it on powering up stuff, now I spend it mostly on adventure effects. 2.3 million. I think in the course of playing this game, I'd honestly say it's north of 150 to 200 million Stardust. Like, maybe even more than that. I did want to take one thing which I thought was very interesting from Pokédax's video, is candy counts. If you want to, you can do this as well. Search up count candy and then input a number and add the minus at the end of it, and that will basically tell you every single Pokemon you have in your storage that has over 30,000 candy available for it. Pokédex actually searched up 15k. I know I've got to raise the bar somewhat because the amount of candy I have for certain things is monstrous. I always try and run a tier 3 mega to coincide with whatever event is prevailing at the time to boost the most amount of candy I can catch. So Pikachu, let's look at the Shundo first and foremost. 73,318 candies and 7,000 XLs. We do have a lot of Hundos. I'm meaning to power up different costumes and things like that, but that's a good amount of Pikachu candy. A lot of Pikachu still in the storage, lots and lots. Machop has been one that I have grinded for the longest time because it was the best fighting type for a long time. Then it had a community day. It's had a community day classic. It's got shadows. Now it's got Gmax. 38,400 Machop candy right there. So some way below the Pikachu, but I'd still say it's pretty high on the total. Eevee is a firm favorite. 47,700 candies and 5,700 XLs. And that's the Hundo D-Max, if you're interested. It's only Pikachu, Machop, and Eevee that have the candy count above 30k, which is quite interesting. If we were to bring it down to 25k, immediately a ton more Pokemon get added to the whole collection. So Rattata, that Fable thing we need the tiny ones of, 28,000 candy for that one. I need to sort out my Pikachus. Oh my god. A new one is Togetic, or Togepi, whichever way you view it, 27,000 and a bit candy and 4,800 XLs. That is including level 50ing plenty of them over the years. Quite why Hoppip has 25,800 candy, I am not sure, but it did have a 6-hour community day. Got that. Wooper's another one. 29,100 candy for that thing, 3,800 XLs. Sveeling the Dealing, 25 and a little bit thousand candy, and 2,082 XL candy have been acquired. That of course had a 6-hour community day as well. And I think that's that. We're not going to go into anything else, but we will search up XLs. Going over the candy XL count, I actually don't have anything over 10,000 XL candies in the storage. If we bring it down to 5,000 XL candy, of course Pikachu is right up there with 7,000 in the storage. And we know very well that Eevee's there with 5,700, but I have a strong suspicion that might be about it, to be honest. There you go. That's proof that I actually burn my XL candies on powering stuff up. By the way, I did order online, look, the Eevee mug from the Natural History Museum. I think it looks fantastic. Now let's get the juicy stuff done and dusted. I know you guys wanted to see this for a long time. It's been a long time since doing a Shundo collection showcase. So here we are. At this current stage, we have 32 Shundos. Of course, that list is slightly out of date because the day after recording this huge collection video, that remote trade happened with Alison Becker, and we got our 33rd Shundo with the costumed shiny Cottony. So, adding this in there because we have to. I will say 2025 was ridiculous in terms of the Shundo luck, particularly from trades, actually. Most recent is, of course, that Cinderace. With level 50, that evolved. It was a Score Bunny on the Community Day this month in March. The rule is any Shundo, doesn't matter if it's level 1 or whatever, it gets level 50'd and possibly second moved, etc. So, Cinderace is there. You guys might remember the random Shundo Ordino hatched from a 5-kilometer egg back in January of this year. Tail end of 2025 is where it went absolutely insane. This was back-to-back days of trades with my fiancée Marta. The Shundo Pikachu, which incidentally is perfectly lined up for Mega Raichu X and Y whenever they come to the game from the Legends ZA DLC Mega Dimension. The Shundo Nihiligo, which is something I've wanted to get. I absolutely love this Ultra Beast. It's incredibly useful. So ignore the name. It's named for a specific reason, but that was actually obviously you can see from Florida, I believe. One of the final raids of Go Wild 2025, Quig75 brought in the purifiable Shundo Darkrai from a Shadow Darkrai raid, which is epic. That does get a Mega, courtesy of the same place, the Mega Dimension from the DLC of Legends ZA. Lucky trades were really good in 2025. Dunkers got us the Shundo Origin Palkia, which of course level 50'd at max and everything like that. The Purified Shundo Lugia was actually from the Into the Wild event, if you remember that one. I can't remember specifically what day it was, whether it was the Monday or the Tuesday of that Into the Wild event, but that was a really cool one to get. I think it was my first ever purified Shundo. So getting that one, even if it was a Lugia, fantastic. Pulling it back to August with this, the Origin Raid Day, which again, you can check the video out on the channel. It was broken for the event, but we beat the odds somehow and pulled in the 2337 Shundo Origin Dialga. Now, I love Dialga in its normal form, but this thing looks so beautiful and vibrant. Back to the trade luck from Mark from our local crew. The Shundo, it was a Drillbur, it's obviously been evolved at max level 50 as an Excadrill, perfect for the Legends ZA Mega. Trade luck was really good. This wasn't even a lucky trade. This was a random special that Marta and I did. Well, it would have been a Fennekin, but it's now a Delphox, ready for its Mega. Community Day Shundo luck. This was actually originally a level 1 Shundo Quaxley from the Community Day. We had JT over for a big chunk of time last summer. Francesco and I got snap Shundos on this one, so it's now a level 50 Quaquava, or whatever the hell it's called. Calm Day Classic from the same summer, the Eevee, I think our third, which you'll see, third Eevee Shundo. And we hit the random evolve button on it and got a Jolteon. Had to level 50 Jolteon, see what goes down. Same summer, June, in between all of the GoFest craziness, we had a Shundo Jangmo from that Community Day, which of course is now Komodo. This thing kicked off the summer. This was an awesome lucky trade. Shundo Zacian, Shundo Lucky, came from TRDF over in New Jersey GoFest, where we're actually doing our official meet and greet as part of the Incensed podcast. So that was amazing to get that trade done and dusted with a huge crew of people around. Kiwi Steve, this is a legendary moment on the channel, not just because it's a legendary Pokemon. It was the first, I think, White Curum remote invite from Kiwi Steve in New Zealand. We were actually out and about doing Zekrom raid out on the Friday evening, but obviously time zone difference means that New Zealand had started their raids. Got in one raid, saw it was shiny because it's a fusion, it doesn't tick down the CP all the way. 2042, insane. And first raid of Global Unovator as well was mental. And we kicked off 2025 in very insane fashion with a Shundo Scyther coming off of Daily Adventure Incense. So it's now obviously tier 3 Mega, best buddied Shundo, level 50'd Sizzle. Coming on back, this is my first and only Research Day Shundo. It was a Yamask, the Unnovan Yamask, which we obviously evolved up to Kofragigas or whatever the hell it's called. And this was the same day I got my first Galarian Birds shiny, which we'll come on to later in the video. Another lucky trade, this one's from the legendary Ash Rosmer, which was a Shundo Necrozma that came from our lucky trade. He was dishing out a lot of Shundo like back in 2024. So at the time we decided to put it up to the Dusk main Necrozma because it was a year prior to Zacian Zamazenta even being announced to come to the game with their crowned forms. So this for a long time was the top tier steel type attacker. This is our first bottle cap. Technically we did this at the tail end of 2025, but it came from a lucky trade thanks to the Wolverine, Andrew. We actually traded it, I think, New York GoFest 2024. We were met in Bryant Park, I believe it was, and it was a Goku Bad shiny lucky Groudon. And when you have to bottle cap and do the attack stat, you just have to win raids with it. So we were definitely raiding over the course of Go Wild, I think it was, when we got our silver bottle cap. This is another sign of some insane trade luck. This was a non-lucky, just random special trade. You can see it didn't even go lucky itself. Full on Shundo Regigigas from my fiancée Marta. in 2024. That's definitely the most insane trade I think I've ever done. Like just random non-lucky Shundo. Coming back to some more Dragon Conde goodness. Goomy, I was on live stream doing this, I think. We had a Hundo check, it turned out to be a Shundo. And we named it Wilson, I think, courtesy of the Thing 45. I've never evolved this one because I thought I'll just keep it as a Goomy. I like the Goomy shiny. Much the same with this thing. I had a promise to keep to myself and also to people at the time. This is, I think, the only full odds Shundo I've ever had. Everything else obviously has either been trades, raids, research days, eggs. They're all slightly boosted. This was a full-on 1 in 512 or whatever it is. Hundo Caterpie turned out to be shiny. Had no idea it was a Hundo. Francesco and Marta did because they were snickering in the background when I was doing my clip. I was like, I got a shiny, look at this. And they were like, keep quiet. We were aware that G-Max Butterfree would eventually come to the game. If you could evolve old Butterfrees or Caterpies to get to G-Max, I would have evolved this one all the way to a Butterfree. But as it turns out, of course, the G-Max system, you have to do the G-Max battles to get the G-Max ball Pokemon. So this is now staying as a Caterpie level 50. For all of eternity. Coming back to another lucky trade, I think this is my only Shundo of 2023 actually, was a lucky trade over the course of a com day. Never been able to get a Hundo Kyogre from a raid, so pulling in the Shlundo was insane, and obviously it's top tier Pokemon, Primal, available at that point. Throwing it back into 2022 with the Origin Giratina. This was a random local raid that I remoted back before the remote raid limit was a thing, and the remote raid cost was insane. Turned out to be a Shundo. It was weather boosted. It's 2631 or something like that. I was actually playing on my old Samsung Fold 3 at the time, so it was super widescreen on the video, but it's a Shundo. It's a freaking cool Shundo as well. And this is my first ever Shundo from a raid. One of my favorite legendaries, if not my favorite legendary, because of just look at that shiny. How could you not like that shiny? And yeah, it was 2701 weather boosted. It might actually have been the same gym, to be honest, to get both the Giratina Shundo and the Yveltal Shundo a couple of weeks apart, to be honest. Now this obviously, I've talked about this extensively after the GoFest 2025. This is my first bottle cap, the gold bottle cap one, and I decided to do the Trico, my shiny Trico. Not my first one, ever, but this is the only shiny Trico I got from Seattle GoFest. Seattle GoFest for me is a very special event, very special time, because it was my first American live Pokemon Go event. First time flying to America on the West Coast. First time being to America at that point in like 8 years. And Trico's my favorite Pokemon. And I thought, let's work on getting that thing. I don't know what stats it was. It was pretty terrible from what I remember, but it's a Shundo Trico courtesy of that gold bottle cap. This one's ridiculous. You would have seen that the GoFest for 2022, the Global, had both a full weekend in June and a one day on a weekend, the 27th of August, 2022. This was a random lure spawn. Got a shiny Leo. It was a Shundo off of a lure, so I had to tell everybody, go back there before it despawns, because of course, regular lure modules, the spawns only last for like 3 minutes before they disappear. The Shundo Beware obviously comes from the Stuffle Community Day. This was very much a last minute one, I seem to remember. We drove over to where someone had called out 100%er. I got the Shundo, and it was my first ever Community Day Shundo. Stuffle was a brand new Pokemon back then as well. It was a brand new release, brand new shiny. Coming back into 2021, this was the second Community Day for Eevee. Back in 2021, it had a full weekend of 2 6-hour windows. So 6 hours Saturday, 6 hours Sunday. I was actually staying back in the day for a brief moment of the weekend with Coops back when he was doing YouTube, and we went out with some of the crew over in sort of southwest London, I think it was, and managed to pull this one in. So I evolved the Eevee up to Sylveon because I love the shiny. This one is my first ever incensed Shundo. I didn't even film it back in the day on the Eevee weekend. I was just like catching shinies because Ian, I think, was faffing around with a drone from memory. Caught it, and it was an incensed Shundo at Willen Lake up near Milton Keynes. Leafeon's my favorite. I agreed that I'd put that up to Leafeon first, and then the Sylveon's my second, and then obviously the Jolteon you saw a little while ago is just a random evolution. So God knows when we'll get the next Eevee Shundo, because between those two, there was like 4 years. Now we're really pulling it back. So this is actually a random special, not dissimilar from the Regigigas. Random special trade with Tom from the local crew. I think we traded them on Christmas Day from memory. And I got a random Shundo Swinub. This was when trading was a fairly new thing actually back in 2019 as well. So Shundo Mamoswine, obviously level 15. I think if I second moved it, I have second moved it. Finally, the first one, which is my Shlundo Rayquaza since 2019. This was a lucky trade that Tom and I did. both swap Rayquaza. I think he got a 96 back in the day. What would be a silver bottle cap worthy job now. But Schlundo Rayquaza, obviously, then it got its mega many years later. It's one of the most amazing, useful Pokemon, top tier shiny. So the fact we got that as our first Shundo, incredible. And that was even before level 50 was available. So it's now obviously been level 50'd. I think one of my first legendaries from memory to level 50. So that is all 32 Shundos, people. Now let's go to the other end of the scale, which is the 0% shinies. I have 5, and the first one was from the Charmander Community Day. We had a second Charmander Community Day in 2020, and I pulled in a shiny 0%er, which was a level 1. I've chosen to never power it up because I now have a tier 3 Shundo Charizard, and I sometimes evolve this one for candy catching just for the lols, but it's second move with 2 legacy moves as well. 0% shiny Charizard. The next one came many years later as courtesy of Axew Community Day. Marta and I actually got Snap Snundos on this day. We've done it slightly differently because it wasn't level 1, so this is now level 50'd. Shiny 0% Haxorus with its legacy move of Breaking Swipe. Am I going to use it? Probably not. This is possibly one of my rarest catches. This was a full odds, no boost on a Bagon or anything like that. It was a random Bagon and it was shiny. And when the stats didn't tick up at all, my jaw dropped. It was insane. I didn't have the camera with me or anything like that. I was just doing some errands. So because it was somewhat high level, it wasn't a level 1, we've maxed it and evolved it, and it's a 0% shiny Salamence now. I should really work on getting it to tier 3 mega, to be honest, as well, just for the lols. This is one of my favorite, most memorable catches. You can see this one as a level 1 as well, a shiny 0% Hippopotas. And you can see this was caught in LA. Anybody who was available on the stream that we did back in the day for LA Sinnoh Tour, we were live streaming around the tar pits area, and that was a random Hippopotas, and I didn't even check its IVs because it was level 1 and we were rushing to get a route finish before our hop on hop off bus arrived. Just quick caught it. I didn't even check the stats for like 3 hours, and then I just searched 0% and that was there in the storage, which was ridiculous. It has a kind of memorable thing because it's a hippo caught at the tar pits, and obviously the tar pits are legendary for a lot of prehistoric animals being stuck in there and their fossils and everything, so I don't think hippos were part of that. And our most recent one is from the December Community Day rollback for 2024. So it has been a long time since getting a shiny 0%er. 0% IV Chansey. I can't remember because somebody called out a different Pokemon. And I think it was at the top of the hour when something changed and the Pokemon switched. So I got a Chansey, some other people got different Pokemon. It was a freaking shiny. And I haven't actually done anything with this, to be honest. So I should power it up to level 50 because it's not a level 1. Now let's switch it back and look at the top tier in terms of IVs with my Hundo collection. And we have 1,614 Hundos. We do a lot of trades, but yes, back in the day, a lot of us were using various different methods to try and find Hundos. So that was before getting involved with Pokemon officially and everything like that. So we're going to go from oldest to newest and just look through some of them. So the first one we actually have in our account that we were aware was a Hundo is this. It was a Magmar from a Walpole Park Magmar nest. This was actually before this red bar thing was a proper system. This is quite a new addition to the game, but back in the day, anybody remembers, make sure you comment below. Do you remember, depending on your team leader, you had a different variety of text that came up and it said, "This Pokemon simply amazes me. Its highest stat is HP, attack, and defense." And then for Valor, you needed to say its stats are excellent or something like that. It was to do with the wording. And the only way to tell if it was a Hundo was if it had that very end point. All 3 stats were named. Simply amazes me, HP, attack, defense, and then its stats are overall excellent or something like that. That meant you had a Hundo. If it said something like slightly less amazing word than excellent, that meant it was either a 13-13-13 or 14-14-14. In either way, you actually had to go to a third-party website to calculate your IVs or take screenshots and put them into PokeGenie. But that's my first one. We haven't ever level 50'd it. I'm not sure why. I should really do that since it's my kind of trophy Hundo. We do have a variety of different ones. We've got a Flareon, which I think was caught in, God knows, Maidstone, an OG Blastoise from February 2017. There's a lot of Kanto Pokemon, and we do get to Typhlosion here, which I can't remember if this was a Go Fest in 2017 or not, if it was a random spawn, but there must have been a Farfetch'd event or something. We've got 3 Kanto Farfetch'd Hundos. Our very first legendary Hundo was this, a Ho-Oh, December of 2017, and that was before the CP got slightly adjusted, because back in the day I think you were looking for 22-22, and of course it's now level 50. Back in the day it was level 40, and for the longest time It was my highest CP Pokemon. Go through with like Aggron and Jumpluff and Walrein. We've got Sceptile. We've even got Sunny Castform that I powered up just below 1500 because back in the day I wanted to use something stupid in GBL. Love Discs. We've got Dragonites, Butterfrees, all kinds of things. Coming on down now, this second Hundo Legendary we got was this one. May 2018 was a Hundo Latios. Wasn't quite aware it was a Hundo back in the day, but I think it only took like 8 raids to get that one. This was my first research breakthrough 100% legendary. Back in the day, you got legendaries from your research breakthroughs. A very late night, having had some fun time, let's just say, with some friends. Got my Raikou for the research breakthrough. It was a Hundo. It was painful to catch, as they always are. And I think 2018 was where we started to really ramp up in terms of trying to get meta-relevant Pokemon and things like that. We do have a Hundo Spinder from would have been field research back in the day. Groudon Hundo, absolutely awesome to pull that one in. I think on one of its very first rotations. I think that was its second time being available in the raids. When Latias was available, we got back-to-back Hundos on a certain time, and these are actually all before I began doing YouTube as well. Anything before October 2019 was before I started my channel. We've got a Hundo Giratina here, which is from April, a random raid, my first Origin Giratina Hundo. Ludicolo, that's ironically from the original Field Research Day, or Catch Master, or whatever it was that we had for Lotad, 30th of March. 2019. We actually got 2 Hundos back in the day on that one, on that research grind. Got another Groudon. This is a Hundo Slackoff that we got in Germany, Dortmund Go Fest. It was a huge crowd of people who swarmed through a town square. We were sat down having a beer because this was actually after we'd done our game day. As we mentioned earlier, you didn't back in the day have city experience. You had whatever the event was that was accompanying the global part of Go Fest stuff. So we had some focus on Slackoff because of the community day being messed up in Europe. So they decided to basically give the redo over the course of Dortmund Go Fest. So instead of getting the Nidoran male and female shiny checks that you could get that was part of that event release, because Nidoran male was the shiny debut, I think, for the Go Fest, we got Slackoff constantly. So I best buddied that one in level 50 because it's kind of a memorable Hundo. After all that time, our very first lucky Hundo, I think, was a trade from Francesco. Yes, it was. This is a Ralts actually after the Community Day. The original Ralts Community Day, because of course it had a classic at the beginning of 2025. Lucky Hundo. This was from, I think, a raid day, Suicune raids, when they had the different raid days over the course of that summer for the Johto Beasts. First purified Hundo back in the day. This was before they added Shadow Boosts. Shadow Boosts originally weren't a thing, and then very quickly they made it so Shadow Pokemon were actually worth keeping. So I purified that weeks before they let that happen. Loads of different ones. There's the Shlundo Rayquaza, you can see. Quite a lot of lucky ones start popping up. This was from a research day for Minccino, which was a shiny debut. And then, I don't know what these Chimchars are doing. From eggs. Not quite back to back, but they were hatched on the same day. 2 Hundo Chimchar from 2 kilometer event eggs. Registeel featured, I think, in the raids for March of 2020. First Hundo Darkrai was part of May's events, whatever it was in 2020 when we had lockdown and stuff. That was remote raids were available, but remote raid invites were not. So you still had to coordinate and make sure everyone jumped into the same gym to do it. Legendary Hundo Bidoofs and things like that. We've got Beedrills, we've got a Hundo Alola Marowak and Garchomp. I think that was part of Go Fest, before they start giving you Go Fest stuff. I've got a Hundo from a Gibble raid. I think this was Gibble's not quite shiny debut. I think they released it in eggs a little while beforehand, but then it went into raids and stuff like that for the Global Go Fest of 2020, and we got a Hundo and finally got a shiny from it. Standard normal Deoxys from Magic Beard over in New Jersey. Thanks again for that. It's a long time since we had that one. Purified Hundo Lapras. Heatran, we've got millions of Giratina now. This is when the remote raids were actually active with invites. So one of the raids from Masterful 27 got us a Hundo Giratina origin form. And we've had plenty of other ones, but I've got to shout out the Hundo Litwick Hat Sableye, one of the most legendary costumes out there, has never made a return since 2020. We had a Sableye nest. This was before they'd started turning off costume Pokemon in nesting. I don't know why they did that, honestly, it was so good. If you had a nest for a Pokemon that had a costume for an event, we went and chased that thing. Got a variety of different Hundos here. There were some from Spotlight Hours trades. As you can see, the 100% lucky Delibird was there. I think this was one of our very first live stream Hundos from a raid invite over to Trinidad and Tobago. Was this my first Hundo Shadow? I think it was. Teddy Ursa, which has now evolved all the way up to Ursaluna. We did have Mewtwo in the raids over the course of February. That was a raid invite courtesy of Shelby from the Patreon squad back in the day from Australia. Landorus was featured in early March as well. This was when they started bringing in the Therian versions. So we got I named it JT Valor because at the time I think he lost a Hundo, so I named it to take the mickey slightly. Rayquaza was back, I think, for a raid weekend as well, so we did get one more hundo off that. And then there was definitely Spring into Spring. I think this was my first 24-hour challenge, actually, from memory. Yeah, Bunnelby added Shiny for that event. Comday for Snivy's, got a couple of hundos on that one. Second Shadow Hundo would be the Crobat, which was a Zubat off of a Grunt, or whether it was off Cliff, I can't remember back in the day. Another live stream hundo would be this Xerneas hundo we caught. I think it was a name shout out courtesy of Alison Becker, part of the Patreon squad back in the day. The Yveltal was available, I think, first time as a shiny, and we got one hundo courtesy of Sue from the New Jersey crew and Patreon squad, and we got a one from our local raid. These were literally 2 days apart. We've got so many different bits and pieces here, lots of meta-relevant stuff. Hundo Reshiram from the summer of 2020. You can tell where Gibblecomdo was, oh my god. First time that Ian and I actually met up and played an event together. He came down to Ealing for Gibblecomday. 6 hours, most insane grind ever at that point in time, I would say. Just keep on scrolling through. Oh, I think that was my first and only Hundo Meltan, courtesy of a lucky trade as well. Looking at Global Go Fest of 2021. This is somewhere on the channel. Coops caught this Hundo Rayquaza I got when it was raid focused on the Sunday of that event. It was spawn focused on the Saturday. And he then dished me a Hundo Dino, which was the new shiny for that event back in the day. But I think that was my first one before it got its Com Day a year later. Over the course of that summer, we had Mewtwo back. We had Dialga released as a shiny, I think, for the first time. So there we go. We get into some Shundo activity with the EVs. Then we had some Gen 8 being released, I think, with Dubwall and Squovet. So we went out for those. My 300,000th catch, 2021, had to be a Hundo Scroll. I was hoping to get a shiny for it, but I couldn't get one, so the Hundo Scroll was waiting for me, basically. A lovely level 1 Hundo Snorlax from a random wild spawn, and we started getting, there's more Com Days and Fashion Week stuff. There you go. There's even Hundo costume shinks from raids and other 24-hour challenges. A throwback to Liverpool Safari Zone with it's the same time, I would say, but the Hundo Piplup was from Field Research from Liverpool, and then we've got this Scousemaid from Liverpool. We had Giratina altered form in like a post-Liverpool raid hour sort of thing. Francesco and I were about to leave, and then he turned on the game and said, "Oh, stop the car and turn around, there's gyms and raids being added." So we turned around and went back. I think my first Hundo Chandelure as well from 2021 from the wild. We've got more Darkrai courtesy of good old remote raids and everything like that. The inappropriate text filter was slightly different on the British slang, I would say that. Zekrom, we started raiding Zekrom and Reshiram like crazy to get them. Got Professor 58 with a Hundo, got Francesco giving us a Hundo from a raid invite as well. We have this, which came as a trade, a random trade, I think, from Captain Bunzo back in the day. Quite an exclusive one. An egg hatch from a 10km array gave us a Mindfu. Back in the day, it was in 10k eggs. It was very difficult and rare to get hold of. More Reshirams being live, I think it was around Christmas time of 2021. So Christoph was actually courtesy of Alison Becker. We got Reshiram live as a Hundo, and Sedi LG from the Patreon squad of back in the day as well with a Hundo Zekrom. More Gibbles, and I find it very difficult to throw away 100%, as I might actually have to start doing it depending on how many I've got. Some more starters and things like that. We've got, I don't know why that Metapod's called C of E, Church of England. Mandibuzz, there's the Com Day. We've got 100% Cherubi, which is quite an interesting one. That was actually from a 7km event egg, which is from Jerry's neck of the woods. There you go. Kangaskhan's first raid day, Rhetoric, got us the 4-star regional, which is lovely. Got Wimpod. This one's called Carlos Science because I actually hatched this Hundo from a gift that came from Seville Safari Zone that I hung on to for so long. I hatched it, and that was just after I'd been to the British Grand Prix at Silverstone that year in 2022. Got some more purified ones. There's our bottle-capped Trico's courtesy of Seattle. We also have this, the 100% Darkrai that was from the Space Needle Gym, to very much tail off that Seattle Go Fest. Hisuian Sneasel made its debut. We got a Hundo and then a Lucky Hundo and another Lucky Hundo of the Hisuian Bravery, courtesy of Francesco. Those were not quite back-to-back trades, but pretty goddamn close. I remember starting a raid hour livestream with this Hundo check, and I think it was an invite from Randy back in the day. A few of these are from the Global Go Fest, the 27th of August 2022. That was an invite from either Cow in a Suit or Lachlan. I can't remember, but it's from that area of Australia, but it's a Hundo Buzzwole. Had no idea it was a Hundo until after I caught it. We were around the time of doing a 24-hour challenge with all of these Hundo Yveltals, which is mental, but you can see the Shundo in there as well. Then it was Litwick Community Day and the Hundos were popping off. It was crazy that weekend. More Giratina, the costumes came back. Zorua as the Hundo. That was when we first discovered the bug that you could switch your buddies around and then it would stop Zorua transforming, so you'd have Zorua pop up as a Zorua on the map. Shundo Giratina is right there. We've got some more purified bits and pieces. Lucky Hundo Tauros of the Kanto variety, the chest spins from the community days, our first Hundo Pavilion courtesy of Cicatrix from the Netherlands. There you go, pin enough gifts, we eventually got a Hundo that wasn't a garden pattern. Good old Hundo costume would have been Togetic from a research task, I believe. Yep. Over the course of a 24-hour challenge, it was about 3 AM wandering around Ealing Green. Hundo Stunfisk, we got a Hundo Drillbur that has been evolved, obviously. This was our first trip to Poland, Sustainability Week. We also got a Hundo Spinner from a field research task over in Poland too. We've got costumes and Go Fests and God knows what. There's Hundo Lucario from the Hatch Day, which incidentally is interesting since the Hatch Day is coming back as a replay event in April. More Aerodactyls, it must have been a fossil event at that point. We've got trades, we've got the New York background Yveltal, courtesy of New York Go Fest. First Hundo background, actually. Groudon we featured when the Paldean starters made their debut. We chased those Hundos as well. Hundo Snorlax Sleeping Cap from the Pokemon Sleep timed research thing that got added, and you got very limited encounters with this thing. So I was actually in Greece on holiday at the time. Final check was the 1382, the 100%er, and I love the fact that it sits down. It's just a little bit different. Limited time research Hundo of the Hisuian Growlithe at the time. We've got Detective Pikachu, which you could evolve to Detective Raichu there. Relicanth was a Hundo courtesy of, I was actually a trade, random trade Hundo from Marta, fantastic. Hundo Skidoo, this was, I think, again a trade, but that was post-Barcelona City Safari weekend. The costume Pikachu of that year. We've got Marini, the costumes for Krogunk and Smoochum from the Fashion Week. Wooper. Glalie was surprisingly a late addition to get a Hundo Snorunt, to be honest. The million Hundo Kragan was courtesy of the research day we had back in 2023. This was at the beginning of 2024, we got a Hundo Xurkitree all the way over in Japan, which is awesome. I think they were still regionally locked at that point, so getting that Hundo was more difficult than you'd think. Purified Hundo Ho-Oh, we've got Tyrants here. The raid day with the Hisuian Decidueye, very, very cool German Hundo, courtesy of Mark Volman, thank you very much. Back in the day, elite raids, there was only 1 or 2 chances to get the Enamorus on its debut, and my 5th raid got the Hundo. And I slightly freaked out because I didn't realize the weather boosted Hundo was what it was. Hundo Chatot, I think this is from Sinnotor Egg from an LA, 10-kilometer event egg. Incineroar, we've got different Com days. There you go, Bagon Com Day Classic, I think it was. Bellsprout's Community Day of April that year. We got probably one of our more rare ones, a Hundo Salandit hatch, which was a female. So Hundo Salazzle has been evolved and not quite level 50 because I didn't know if it had any play in Ultra League, to be honest. Was a random field research task catch, fantastic. Hundo Party Hat Grime is Keikachu and everything like that. There's the Hundo Buzzwole, which I don't know why I haven't level 50 that, to be honest. It's a background from New York. Should power that one up, to be honest. New York as well. Neither had a background, unfortunately, but all good times. We had the Spelunker's Cove event because I was in Sardinia when Madrid Go Fest was happening. Hundo Kecleon was courtesy of a trade from Marta, of course. Hundo Mousehold is definitely a rare one. That was timed research. We've got Tynamo Community Day. We've got some luckies in there. Alex Nexton with a last-minute invite over to Cork in Ireland for the Hundo Thunderous. Very nice. 100% Visor Slack Off. Fantastic. Absolutely love the thing. I should put its level 50, to be honest. Brazil Egg. And we got this random Hundo, well, it's called Martachew, obviously, but it's the Scuba Chew from that 2024 thing. Shadow Hundo Bagon it was. Shadow Raid Hundo was epic. Research Day for Oranguru and for Persimmon was an interesting one. You can see now we start to get into some Zacian action with 2024. This is when they made their shiny debut, not when the crowned forms came in. So same with Zamazenta. Got a Hundo Shadow Alolan Rattata. In fact, we have 2 of those. That's the only Shadow Hundo family I have completed from rough memory. You can tell where Go Wild was for 2024. All of these mighty Pokemon were 100%ers. Then we got Sandygast, which was part of the Christmas event for that year. Costume Wooloo. That was such a beautiful costume. I was so sad that didn't come back for 2025, honestly. Jigglypuff making its bow debut, I think, at that point, and we're into more recent stuff for 2025. Purified Hundos, background Hundo Comdate Rolls, when we were playing in Bristol. Lundo Sari Chew from a trade with Marta. Look at that thing, absolutely beautiful. And our first Hundo D-Max Legendary of Moltres. Hundo Regionals from the Unova Tour of that year with the Sigilyph and Maractus. Absolutely love Sigilyph, to be honest, one of my favorite regionals. Got Deerlings and things like that. Got so many Fuecoco because it was sunny boosted for that community day. Hundo D-Max Excadrill, it is now. It just keeps on going, I've got to be honest. That was a 24-hour challenge with all the Hundo Florigatos. Remember that one? That was the Horizons crossover event. Absolutely love that event. It was so good with the costumes and the shiny boost and everything like that. Got a Purified Hundo Registeel. Got our first Hundo Mudbray. Couldn't get one from Milan itself, but we got one in a random trade that turned out to be a lucky Hundo, thanks to, again, Marta, my fiance. Plenty more different costumes. Hundo G-Max. My first Hundo G-Max was caught as a remote invite to Osaka Go Fest, and I was actually on a beach in Spain somewhere, enjoying a very nice coffee. My first G-Max Rillaboom check, not just checking it randomly, it was my first one, my Pokédex, was the Hundo. New Jersey Go Fest and Paris Go Fest with the Shundos Zacian. You got the Hundo Horlucha that came from an egg from France, a French-Mexican bird. Lundo Frigibax, which will be waiting for its community day hopefully later this year. Bolt Hund and all that jazz. We got so many Jangmoa from that community day, it was insane. The lovely Apex 171 with the Hundo invite for the Regieleki, which I think is in the raids right now at the time I record this. Costume Phalanx, the Train Phalanx, absolutely beautiful, beautiful Pokemon. And we've got so many more. We've got Hisuian Hundo. This was not even using the trick to swap the forms with Zorua and the buddies and everything. This was just a random catch on the way down to go and get some DIY bits and pieces. Hundo Florges, Lucky, we should say. Snorlax, Purified Hundo Kyogre. We got some more Hundo D-Max Pokemon of Trubbish and Charmander. I think the Charmander was actually from the past. Hundo Garden Pattern from Kiwi Steve of the Scatterbug. We get to the Hundo costume side. I absolutely love this costume. We got some more Shadow Raid bits and pieces because there was Purified Hundo Groudons everywhere. Hundo D-Max for the Phalanx. Whether we use that in the future, I don't know, but it's a Hundo D-Max. Quite a rare thing, to be honest. Costume Hundo Froakies. Purified. There's the Purified Shundo. We did, of course, evolve the Hundo Dunsparce up to the Dunsparce. Didn't go to the 3 segment, but all the Go Wild mighty Pokemon. There were so many featured for that 2025 event. In fact, over that weekend, there were so many trades with Hundos and things like that. Random Hundo Kyurem was courtesy of Marta. And then the next day, we got a Hundo Kyurem from a raid invite. Costume Vikavolt would have been the Charjabug. We evolved it all the way up and level 50'd it. More recent memories with Delmise this year, actually. Hundo Delmise from a raid. Castforms, the Tadbulb when it was shiny release, but we didn't get the shiny, unfortunately. Shadow Hundo Feebas. Of all things. I should probably evolve that, to be honest. Background Hundo Vulpix from the community day recently. And even in LA, Lucky Hundo Cloth, courtesy of a random trade with JT while at our Airbnb. The Hundo Background LA Dragonite, fantastic. Couple of Hundo Unknowns and things like that. This was actually from the more recent All Out event, you can see, and we get right down to the Score Bunnies, and most recently, double Hundo Feebas and the Clamperl. There we go. I can take a breath now. 1,614 Hundos. I thought we'd quickly insert here, since we are talking about Hundos, legendaries are probably on your mind, because it's not specifically searching through them, we just went through the entire collection, but we have 107 Hundo legendaries to our name through various different methods, be it purification, raids, research, D-Max battles, and trades as well. Out of all of the legendary raid battles we talked about at the very beginning with the medals, 107 different legendaries. So we have 2 Zapdos Kanto Hundos, 1 D-Max Moltres Hundo, but lacking the Articuno. We do have 2 Hundo Mewtwo, double Raikou and double, with a bit of purification luck, on the Suicune, but no Entei. We've got 1 Shundo of the Lugia, obviously, but many Hundos that are purified, and actually a couple more Shadows that could purify to be 100% IV Ho-Oh, including that D-Max one, the one from 2017, and we did have to purify to get the Hundo Regirock, but we've got the Hundo Regice we talked about recently from 2019. And 3 Hundo Registeel, 3 Latias Hundos, one being a D-Max, thanks to Loath8, whose favourite Pokemon it is. The Latios Hundo, we've got 1 Purified Hundo Kyogre. I think we can get 1 or 2 more if we wanted to. Shundo Kyogre. We've got quite a few Hundo Groudons and quite a few more that could be purified to be Hundos as well. 4 Rayquaza, 4 of the altered Dialga or regular Dialga, and then 2 of the Origin, one being a Shundo. 2 regular Palkia Hundos and 2 Origin, one being the Shundo Origin. 3 Hundo Heatrans, a Shundo Regigigas, and then many Giratina. 4 of the altered, and then 8 of the origins. There you go. Lots and lots of Giratina ghost action. Cobalion, Terrakion, both 100%ers, missing the Virizion. Need to raid that a bit more. We've got both versions of Thundurus with their 100%ers. We've got 6 Reshiram Hundos and 5 Zekrom Hundos, 1 Landorus, and 3 different Kyurems, one being a Shundo, of course. We've got 1 Xerneas and 8 Yveltal. A Tapu Fini, 3 different Necrozma versions, one being the Schlundo Lucky. We've got 6 Zacian and 3 Zamazenta, and finally, 1 Regieleki and the Enamorus. Now, regarding level 50 Pokemon, I actually have a couple of tags set up. If you don't use tags in the game, I highly recommend that you do so. It's a very good way of sorting out different bits and pieces, but I have a to be level 50 Pokemon tag with 258 waiting in there, or ones that I've tagged that I think I should power up. 342 Pokemon have been level 50'd. Some may be more than others. Quite a lot of Pikachus. We do have the Kanto starters and costumes and G-Maxes and things like that. Pretty much everything that has a Mega Evolution as well, but we've got Costume Hundo Vulpixes and things like that. Shadow Machamps, not quite Hundos, but they are very usable. There will be a lot of overlap with this one as well, because we've just dived through a lot of Hundos, and mostly it's Hundos that I level 50, to be honest. This was a special research from the Go Fest, I think, of 2020. 96% Gyarados Shiny, which for the longest time was my best IV Shiny until literally LA this year, when Marshall and I swapped our background Gyarados and I got the Goku Bat 98. 3 different level 50 Snorlaxes. One's a Purified Hundo, one's the Costume Hundo, and one's the G-Max Lucky Shiny. Shadow Dragonite, Shadow Mewtwo's, even the level, well, that is level 50, the 98% Armored Mewtwo. I think this is one of my first lucky trades with Masterful 27, actually. It's now Masterful 98 because it's a Wobbuffet, very tanky for a gym. Goku Bad, of course. Some Shadow Raikos, some Shadow Tyrannosars, lots of Ho-Oh, oh my god. Including, look, the Apex Shadow Lugia, quite a few Gardevoir, things that have Megas like Manectric and Aggron, Sharpedo, Altaria, Banette, Glalie, quite a few Metagross, including some Shadows. Kyogres and Groudons all level 50. Hundo Rayquazas level 50. A few costumes like the Hundo Shinx and things like that. Lots of Garchomp, lots of Rhyperior, Togetic, Mamoswine, lots of Dialga, my goodness me, Dialga Hundos, and I still have some more that I need to power up. Palkias, lots of Sinnoh Legendaries. Darkrai, lots and lots of level 50 Shadows and Hundos and things like that. Excadrill Army, Conkeldurrs, the Darmanitans, Chandelure, whatever you want to call it, Hydreigon as well, Terrakion, both a Hundo and a Shiny 98, Reshiram and Zekrom powered up to level 50, the Curems, we've still got so many more of those to power up, Florges, we're quite a new addition to be honest, Tyrantrum and Amora, the Yveltal Army, we've only got 9 of those powered up, my goodness me, 4 different Katanas, Hundos and the Shundos and the Crosmas, different variants of them. We've got the Gen 8 stuff, lots of Zacian and Zamazenta and other legendaries. A bit of Hisuian action with Enamorus, and obviously the Ursaluna as well. Revavroom we put up to level 50, that was a more recent one, and of course now we are down with Annihilate, Clodsire and Frigibax. There you go, 342 level 50 Pokemon. I'm sure there are a few more that I may not have remembered to tag. Quickly looking at the 0%ers we've had in our account, we've got 208 of them. I'm not showing the first 3 because the first one I ever got was a Murkrow, which I evolved into Honchkrow, and it has a very rude name before the inappropriate text filter was a thing, and I cannot risk being demonetized because of it. There's also a Plusle and something else in there. So we'll begin with the Krabby, shall we? The Krabby from 2019. Plenty of these would have just been random catches. The Bagon with the Legacy move, that could very well have been December. Suffroge the Frog, you'll have seen a few of these already, but the Sableye with the Litwick hat was another pull from the nest back in the day. We mentioned the Hundo, the Nundo as well. We also have a Nundo Meltan. Our first Shadow Nundo, I think we've only had 2 or 3 of these, was a Gligar. And I believe, doing a 24-hour challenge at the time. And you can see they were not very far apart, because even this, the Voltorb, Shadow Nundo as well, absolutely awesome. This was actually caught Chipping Norton. This was one of the first visitations. Actually, Ian and I went to Clarkson's farm and walked around. We found James May's heads from the Grand Tour episode, the big statue. That was an incense at Clarkson's farm. That's why it's named Caleb. A few different Pokemon here and there. 0% level 1 Stunfisk of all things. That's actually from the World Championships. My goodness me, what a pull. This was actually while I was visiting Bavaria, Germany. I was on a big road trip and we went to the Eagle Nest that's on the border. I got the Nundo Drowsy at it. Even got Nundo Pikachus, Nundo Tyrannotars at this point as well. Lumemion, Galarian Wheezing, which I think, caught in the wild, there must have been some very specific event. What it was probably was a Nundo coughing that then they had the limited window to evolve it to get to a Galarian Wheezing. You'll have seen the 0% Shiny Haxorus already. We've got Wooloos, Cutieflies, Pumpkaboos, Nundo Zorua as well. Costume Gengar, that definitely I think was from a 24-hour challenge. Nundo Heart Furfrou, obviously Nundo Furfrou, we decided to give it the heart trim. You've seen a few of these, but the Nundo White Stripe Basculin, which came off of a random route while we were here doing global Sinnoh Tour. Definitely an insane pull given how rare that was. And we've got things like Pawmi, the Chonk, Alola Mola. We've got Gligar evolved up to Glysaur. Not quite Tynamo now, it's Electros. Remoraid, we've got a Shadow Nundo Trico. Definitely one of my rarest and preferred Pokemon. This, oh my goodness me, when was this? The Nundo Vulpix. Nundo Shadow Vulpix, again, another random grunt pull. Fantastic. These are all 2024. My first and only, I think, Nundo daily spawn was Gothita. I seem to remember a Clauncher somewhere, but Illumise, the costume, Florigatos as well, Vanillite from the community today, Nundo Stonjourner being the UK regional, look at that thing, definitely a treasure. Slackoff, Pancham when it was finally available in the wild, Party Hat, Squirtles and Eevees, Quaxleys on the community today. This one, definitely very, very rare, Unknown V, Nundo from the Valencia City Safari. I think we were faffing around with phone networks and getting a coffee right at the very beginning of the event, and that was a Nundo that came off of my incense. Pretty goddamn cool. And we are into very recent stuff, honestly, with Picky Pet Conde from November 2025, and we're right down here with the Nundo background Ditto that you would have seen not too long ago. This was a Go++ job, that's for sure, with the Famfi and the Red Bull. And the most recent one is this Skorupi, which was at some point in the wild. So there we go, 208 Nundos. I do like collecting them because of how rare they are, like just in spawns in general. Now we're coming to one of the biggest things, which is the shiny count. I currently have 6,049 shinies in my storage. I need to sort through them. There's some that are duplicated that are way too many, but I've definitely had more than that. I'd say we're north of 10 to 12,000 shinies in the course of playing this game, because the amount we've traded and thrown away subsequently from terrible trades, but also back in the day, anybody who played the com days where there were 6 hours, you were easily pulling in 60, 70, 80 shinies of the same Pokemon, and I didn't have space back in the day for 86 shiny Duskull. Our first shiny, I think like a lot of OG players, was the Magikarp. This was a couple of weeks after the original Water Festival event. Magikarp has now been evolved. It was put up to level 40 or nearly level 40. Back in the day, in 2017, it was one of my more powerful Pokemon. That shows how far we've come. Then the debut of the Gen 3 Ghost types back in 2017 on the OG Halloween stuff, but this was caught a couple of weeks, you can see, in fact nearly a month later. Random Shuppet at my home cluster, which is awesome, and then we very quickly get into the OG Pikachu Com Day, first ever Com Day, January 2018. We've got Lovedis, which I think was its shiny debut for Valentine's. Dratini Community Day, we've got Bulbasaur Community Day. This was Lugia's shiny debut in March of 2018. Aaron, a lot of these are shiny debuts actually. That would have been its debut as part of the Hoenn wave release. There were waves of Gen 3 Pokemon being released as part of events. Com days with Mareeps and Charmanders, Tyrannitars. You've got OG Blastoise with the costumes there. Look at that thing, beautiful with the shades. Plus Minun being released as part of the OG Go Fest. 2018 Go Fest saw those debut, which I think was cool. Then you got Eevees, and back in the day, we didn't have trading at this point, so we just evolved them. I think Wingull, that was part of a Singapore Safari Zone tie-in event back in 2018 from rough memory. The original Kanto Bird release in 2018. I think it was Raid Day shenanigans. Back in the day when Raid Days didn't even guarantee you shinies, I went through Articuno and Zapdos, didn't get a shiny out of like 30 raids. Then this one was the final raid I got on the Moltres Raid Day. Chikorita Community Day, we've got the Honchkrow being released, I think we've got Beldum, the Gengar, and then we've got Cubone, Ponyta. I think they were co-released actually as part of a Kanto tie-in. OG Cyndaquil event, and then we come through, we've got Shinx, so many random shinies. We really can't scroll through every single one, but we come through some Com Day action. Swinub Community Day was a really good one, as you can see. Our first Meltan shiny, we of course evolved all the way. The original Clamperl Research Day. Look at that thing. We've got about 5 or 6 shinies. We have traded a few away. Mischievous Latias being debuted. We've got Shelder shiny, and then the OG Trico Community Day. You can see I've still got all of those. Lotad's Research Day, along with Castform's shiny as well. Latios being shiny released, and then the original Earth Day weekend, which saw Diglett's debut, and we've got a lot of those. Apom released as part of some Team Rocket event, I think. Seal as well, and we've got Torchic Community Day, Lapras featured in there, we've got Absol, and then Slack Off, bit of Lilip and Anorith. And this is Germany Go Fest 2019 with the Groudon. We've got this one actually in Dunkirk. We did, if you don't know, OG members of the channel may know, one of the first videos we put up, and it was my first ever video I recorded but never uploaded in time, was driving to Germany Go Fest and doing the whole Dortmund Go Fest there. We road tripped over there, did the event and came back. This was the first shiny of that road trip caught in Dunkirk. We've got Rattatamund that we got when we got into our hotel, Eevees and Nidorans and Ghastlies, and you can see these are all caught as part of the Dortmund Go Fest. Slackoff took over in a big way, really big way. All of these are German Slackoffs. Mudkip's Community Day, Roltz's original Community Day, the debut of Shiny Rayquaza. This was my best one for the longest time of a decent 98er. That was my 100,000th catch as well back in August of 2019. Suicune Shiny Shenanigans. This was a shiny from Research Breakthrough. I was in the pub. Mewtwo, my very first shiny Mewtwo there. 93%er. Ah, the plight of the 7K egg. So this was hatched not from a 2K, from a 7-kilometer event egg when they had this big regional tie-in event. You had all the Kanto regionals as shinies in 7-kilometer event eggs. And it took me, as you can see, a long time and a lot of hatches to get one. We got the Tauros at least it wasn't Mr. Mime. I think to this day, my only one I've got myself. Never had one in all the trips to America. Giratina's original altered debut. We've got Trapinch, which was the first video available on the channel, the Trapinch Community Day. Scrolling right on through, you got the December reroll with all of those Pokemon, Turtwig, etc. Heatran being available with Liverpool Safari Zone, I think, or something like that. Should have really maxed it out, to be honest, no matter. Rhyhorn Community Day, just before the pandemic started to hit. Costume Party had Eevee and Gengar, which was a raid day, I seem to remember. Marill was part of the GBL Battle Day, actually. It doesn't tell you that, but this was a GBL Shiny Battle Day before they could add remote raids and other events. Play from home style stuff. There would have been research days. All this stuff now is from Liverpool Play from Home Safari Zone, with the Chinchou being the new shiny. We got so many shinies. 900th shiny, there you go, was a Carvana. Abra was the Play from Home Community Day as well. We got shiny Darkrai's, and Terrakion was only 7 raids to get to that one. C.com Day, Spring into Spring, OG Ghastly Community Day as well, where I've probably traded and transferred all the shinies. Only got 2 of them left out of the 50 or something we got. Go Fest, I love myself the visor. I hope these come back at some point, the Pikachu visor starters. When the debut of like a million different shinies were added to part of Go Fest 2020, we had Surviper being released, I think. We had Quillfish, Tangler, Genesect came as a shiny for the first time. My first Shadow shiny was a Coughing, which I can't remember if that came from a Jesse and James balloon actually, but it took me a long time. Zapdos was more readily available in 2020 compared to its raid day. That's when they finally came back with the Kanto Birds. Evil Noodle, Spiritomb shiny release as well as part of field research, got a 91%. I could silver bottle count that, to be honest, if we wanted to. 2020, Lugias and Shadow Shiny Growlithe was our second one. We've got to scroll right on through. I'm really sorry, people, it's going to take forever otherwise. We've got Ground Kyogres. We do have that one. That was caught in 2020, the shiny Litwicat Sableye. Lucky traded it, unfortunately, and it went very bad. Very badly indeed. Raikou Raids, Roselia Community Day, I think it would have been. We've got back-to-back Shadow Shinies, pretty much they were, of Scyther from Jesse and James balloons from memory. Shiny Ditto, this is now Kanto Tour stuff, I believe. Kanto Tour with the Psyduck, Omanyte, Bellsprout, Geodude, Mewtwo's and all that jazz. Spring into Spring with the Execute and the Plusles were everywhere. Smeargle, our very first Smeargle, that took a long time to get. You only got 5 snapshots a day. Marill Day, I don't know what was going on with Marill, it just liked me that year for some reason. Gible Community Day. Still got all of these shinies. These are just waiting for random trades, to be honest. Lotad shiny, I caught that at the top of Snowdon, on top of a Welsh mountain. That is a vlog available on the channel. Tepig's Community Day, we were actually playing where Mark used to live, somewhere near Marlborough along a canal. GoFest Global, Dialga's shiny debut. Until we went ham on those raids. Eevee 2.0 right there. 6 million different Eevee shinies. The costume debuts of Blitzel and Curlier and the Butterfree that are now they're coming back in a raid day. Shame. Duskull Community Day, transferred a lot of those. We've got the 98 Giratina, Pinsir Shadow Shiny there, Dwebble, Seismitoad and all that sort of jazz. This is from the proper Liverpool Safari Zone. We actually went up to Liverpool. The Giratinas afterwards, lots of shinies of that with Safari Circle and Chipitina. Costumes with the Sinnoh starters, Heatran, more legendaries, millions of Zekrom and Reshiram. You'll see those in the storage as well. We went absolutely crazy on those. This is the reroll for December 2021. There's so many shinies there. Oh, the shiny Drudigon, I think was my first shiny Drudigon, and I got it. I've just been isolating because of COVID, and we've got a Shadow Shiny Bagon as well from a Grunt or a Leader, which is epic. We're coming down here to more Smeargle events. Is it Johto Tour, I think? Perhaps, I'm not sure. We're coming up to Johto Tour, that's for damn sure. Mudkip Com Day Classic, love that event. Got so many Mudkips still available. Kangaskhan Raid Day, we've got Latios, Latias, Perugly. This is now Severe Safari Zone, I think. Safari had Pikachu and the Geodude and Skarmory. That was when, was it Litleo being a new shiny for that one? I seem to remember. Maybe wrong. Incensed Eye shiny. Got Lapras with a bow. That was part of the Water Festival event while we were actually out in Spain. Fantastic. Got a couple of those shinies. Then a Alolan Geodude. Terrible Com Day. Ian and I did a road trip to Amsterdam and back in under a day. We played maybe collectively 20 minutes of the com day, got way too many shinies of it. Plenty of shiny Kyogre from various different raid rotations, back-to-back 98 lucky trades from Ian and from Mike Newcombs. Okay. 2022 Go Fest with the Floatzel, the Shundo Litleo, of course, and things like that. Got the research day that had Cranidos and Shieldon in it, which was actually quite a good fun event. Ditto and Mewtwo. Com day for Dino, clearly. The Seattle Go Fest stuff. Here we are. Snorlax cowboy hat. I should really gold bottle cap that one. I think it's worth it. My only one. It was very difficult to get that costume. Hisuian Bravery Raid Day. Galarian Zigzagoon Com Day. We've got the Unknowns for World Championships, the Worlds event in London. LD and N were available for that one. We got all of them. Simisage, like the Pansear, Panpour, Pansage were available for a GoFest 22 event. The Worlds 2022 Pikachu, the Beefeater Pikachu. Got the plushie up there somewhere. Inkay Field Research Day. I was actually in France, in Metz, doing that as a nice research day. Lovely French town. Rog and Roller, we were up in Nottingham for that com day. Then this is when there was no remote raid cap. Remote raids were cheap, and we went absolutely crazy on Yveltal when it came out as a shiny. Got so many, and all of these, there are some that have also been traded as well. Then Xerneas followed suit, and Litwick Community Day. Halloween stuff, that was when the Noibat was a 7-kilometer raid grind for that one, and we now have one. And then it came out as a com day not too long afterwards. Dratini Com Day Classic, Shundo Giratina up there, Teddiursa Community Day, and then Shadow Shiny Machop made its debut, and we had insanely good fortune on that one as well. Pawniard, my first shiny Pawniard right there. The raid day for all the Hoenn Megas came out with Sceptile, Swampert, and Blaziken. December reroll, Hisuian Avalugg raid day right there. Shadow Shiny Sableye, I think that was my final shiny of 2022 from memory, and then Reshiram and Zekrom came back. Chespin Community Day in there as well. Larvitar Com Day Classic. The debut of the Tapus, the Tapu Koko, then the Tapu Lele, I think it was. Noibat Community Day. We transferred quite a lot of those shinies, got to be honest. Weather Week, God, Weather Week was a terrible event, but we did get the shiny Rainy cast form. More Illumise. This is actually getting into Hoenn Tour now, I think. Our shiny Kecleon, we traded that swap like for like with Randy. Not too bad, but I did get a shiny Kecleon. One of the lucky people to get a shiny Kecleon over in Las Vegas. Different costume Pikachus. The Sunny cast form was a chase back in Las Vegas as well. Jigglypuff, I think, was a Spotlight Hour at the MGM Grand. Final shiny of Las Vegas was a Shadow Shiny Magnemite while waiting in Las Vegas airport to fly home. Global Hoenn Tour, many regionals. Torkoal, Relicanth, all kinds of stuff. Slowpoke Community Day, transferred a lot of those. We did hit 10,000 subscribers back then, which was a good milestone. Thank you, everybody. Shiny Jirachi. Somewhere the Mythicals are all hiding in there, to be honest. I've not looked through them, but we'll go through some of the more spicy rare catches. Spring into Spring, terrible egg luck. 370 eggs, even did a 24-hour challenge. And finally, we hatched a shiny for that event. Togetic Community Day with Togepi in the eggs. Plenty of shinies for that one. Drillbur's debut, Swinub Classic, Cleaver's Raid Day, Fennekin Com Day, we've got Axew Com Day, Shadow Shiny Geodude. Remember this one being a 24-hour grind as well. Solstice Horizon or something, a Solstice. Can't remember if that was that a classic or not, but they brought back the Squirtle with the shades. So there we go, we were in Portsmouth for that one. Riolu Hatch Day, and then they had to do a makeup because Squirtle Com Day was ruined. Debut with the fossils of Tyrant and Amora, got the shiny one very nicely from Special Research. Scrolling through, I think we're into London Go Fest stuff with Unknown exclamation mark debut and Dewpider making its debut, as well as Satchel Dactyl. Fabulous. Galarian Mr. Mimes, the shiny London my only background shiny legendary from London, because I wasn't raiding too hardcore back then. Probably a mistake, to be honest, but we got tons and tons of good shinies. It's probably much the same for New York as well, except we got some throw action in there, which was a new shiny for me at that time. Golett was a new shiny, as was Scrub for that event, so we got a couple of those, traded a few of them. More and more Pikachus and things like that. Looking through all these shinies, honestly, I'm getting a bit of a headache. I'm doing this video, I'm too much talking. Lechonk's shiny debut, I think, was part of Paldier's introduction to the game. Shiny Bombardier, still my only shiny Bombardier. Oddish was a research day we were actually out in Greece for that one. Grubbin Com Day, we had Azuro, I think, as a hatch day. Shadow Moltres Weekend. The Detective Pikachu with the cowboy hat. Slowpoke that couldn't evolve. We've got Guzzlord shiny debut, and then my 500,000th catch was the shiny Skidoo. Relicanth was featured for that one as well. We got Unknown Sea. Timber Com Day was also while we were out in Spain. Halloween shiny debut of Costume Pumpkaboo, got the nice level 1 there. Shadow shiny Lugia was over the same weekend too. The good old memories when the Dia de los Muertos and even the Festival of Lights were actually a global event. We had that. Myself, Francesco, and Marta went hunting in a Cubo nest, which turned out to be a cemetery. So we did get lucky with that one, getting that shiny. And of course, the Dust Skull with the crown as well. Fantastic to have those. Wooper Community Day, where we've only kept the Paladin Wooper because that was the new shiny. Unknown Bee, what was this for? Something. Barcelona, there we go, traded from Francesco because I don't know if I got the bee from Barcelona. Fashion Week, when we had actually got the Dragonite, courtesy of Sammy from the Patreon squad. We were actually doing a 24-hour challenge. We had nothing but Absol mostly. Frillish as well, the Costume Wooper, that was a good one to get back in the day. Solosis, actually Jim from the Patreon squad got us this, the Goku Bad of a Nihiligo. Reshiram, we had Hisuian Samurott Raid Day and Reshiram some more. Kragonor Research Day, more Christmassy bits and pieces than Ditto, also a Ditto event. Then a variety of different Community Day Pokemon from that 2023 selection with Larvitar, Axew, Swinub, Christmas Costume Eevee. Weird Deer Raid Day, pretty much at the tail end of 2023. We even had, goodness me, this was when Vanillite got its debut. I was actually in the Lake District with family on holiday. The debut of the Costume Duck, and this was my final shiny of 2023. Jigglypuff with the bow. We've got Morlul or Shinotic as a shiny there. We've got the Hisuian Typhlosion, Shiny Therian Thunderous, lovely shiny. Our first Shadow Shiny Dratini, but potentially our only one actually. Landorus shinies with a tiny shiny. Shadow Shiny Ho-Oh in its first weekend debut. Happiny, which came as part of, I think, Chansey's Community Day. All the other Chanseys have been thrown away, as you can tell. Turtonator, we actually got a second shiny Kecleon before Sinnoh. Appropriate then. These are all the Sinnoh things with Chatot shiny, Chingling, all the unknowns, the Spiritomb, Cherubi. We actually got our shiny Drampa courtesy of the Wolverine. Andrew, thank you very much as well. This was actually while we were out and about in LA, I think. Crazy good event back in the day. Palkia Origin shiny that took forever to get, as did the Dialga one from back in the day. Hisuian Quillfish is a debut too. Carnivine and more shiny legendaries and things like that. Shadow Shiny Raikou with its, I think, debut at that point. The Horizons Pikachu. Love a crossover event. Always love a crossover event. Lytton Com Day. We went to Oxford with the Incensed Podcast boys for that one. Cottony Costume. This thing needs to come back. It really does. It's just, it came along for one event and never returned. Our shiny Shaman was caught on April Fools alongside of a shiny Zorua, which was the day before pretty much. XXL shiny Onyx. The Ultra Beast coming in as a shiny. There we go. So we've got Katana and Celesteela. That must have been Heracross Raid Day as a mega. All the different Tapus, got Tapu Bulu and then Tapu Fini being featured. I think there was a Flock Together Research Day from memory as well, which had the Doduo. I actually needed shiny Doduo back in the day. Bound Sweet Community Day, level 1 Absol. We've got the Shundo Caterpie there, as you can see. The Gumicon Day, I had to get these two traded to me because I couldn't get that shiny Visor Slackoth for the life of me. I did a 24-hour challenge for that event and didn't get one. Was this an Italian? Yes, it is. I named it Aperol Spritz because it's an Italian Snorlax. A couple of shinies were out there before we got into, must have been Cyndaquil Comday Classic. Yes, it was. Tiny shiny Slugma. We got this one thanks to Francesco, our first Oricorio shiny, because we didn't make it to Madrid Go Fest back in the day, but we did get out for Ducklet in New York 2024. And with Eevee with Sun Crown and the Moon Crown being debuted, we got lots of these Pom-Pom Oricorios. Heatmores did the lucky shiny Volcarona swap with JT, which I don't think ever made it to a video, unfortunately. Flabébas were fairly new at that point as well. The Buzzwole shiny, so good to see. Question mark unknowns were fairly new as well, and Corsola, Pheromosa being shiny. Unknown T, I think was actually from a raid. No, caught in the wild or obtained in a trade, shall I say. Costume Espeon and Umbreon with the Sun and Moon scarves. Global Go Fest there with XXL shiny Gligar. Lucario came with a Mega Raid Day, I think, as well at that point. Lucario Mega Raid Day was awesome. Just more of the same, really. There's Beldum Comday Classic. You can see Xerneas Poplio Comday. We were up in Grantham with Ian and JT tagged along for that one. Phalanx Raid Day. There is the Passimian and Orangaroo Research Day. Plenty of shinies for that one. Swaddle Community Day. I seem to remember these few select Pokemon because I remember this 98 Igglybuff was done over the course of a 24-hour challenge. And the 24-hour challenge was for the debut of the shiny Galarian Birds. We didn't get a single Galarian Bird catch on that 24-hour challenge, but we got plenty of other random shinies, which is fun. There's the Halloween stuff with Zorua and Litwick, and the debut of Greninja, or Froakie with its hat from Eggs. We were actually in Italy for a good chunk of that event, and Rowlet, such good Halloween costumes, honestly. Halloween has some of the best costumes available in Pokemon Go. Mankey Community Day, we were in Schnitzel Town, or Cologne. Then we had this, the Go Wild of 2024. All of the raids for the legendaries and the Toxtricities and everything, the Snorlax, and there you go, Gojiko with our shiny Rockstar Pikachu. It was a random trade just to get it added. I couldn't get one for the life of me. Thank you again, my man. Background shinies that didn't come with the movesets. We talked about that extensively on the channel. That was the Aspiring Dragons Research Day with Skrelp, Horsey, Trapinch, and I think Swablu. The Crozma Raid Day, we got the shiny 98. Was this a Goku Bad? Of course, we always seem to get a Goku Bad. Our special backgrounds, look at that. Why didn't they not do that for 2025? Christmas stuff with the Wooloo. Satoddle's debut back in the day. New Year's stuff, more hoot than you could shake a stick at. Sprigatito with background shiny beautifulness. And then we had Fashion Week very early on. Got ourselves finally our second shiny Diglett with the hat, so we evolved it. The shiny Minchino with the glasses. Shadow shiny Alolan Grimer from a random grunt as well. I think it was, actually, no, I tell you, I think it was from an Arlo battle back in the day. Shadow Shiny started to become more and more common because obviously raids and things like that mean they're more accessible. D-Max Shinies with the whole Max Monday shenanigans and everything like that for the Kanto Birds. Ralts Comday Classic with 2 background shinies. Thanks Barside 2 for the ticket for that one again. Lovely Nimble Shiny. Got very lucky with that one, got 2 shinies, so that is Shiny Lokix. Background shinies of Carablast but not of Shelmet. We've got Galarian Birds. I can't remember when I first got my Galarian Birds, but a lot of these have been traded now, either like for like or somewhat a swap. We are into Unovator now with shiny Maractus and hopefully shiny Sigilyph at some point. There you go, shiny Sigilyph. Curems with the backgrounds thanks to the Wolverine, getting a lot of shout outs for the different trades and raids and things like that. Bouffalante as a shiny as well. More familiar to you guys, maybe you've joined the channel and started watching. Tepig, and I think we might slowly. This was one of the last things we did while in LA, was a trade with Isaac, who's part of Brandon Tarn's crew. Became a Goku Bad Shane T8 Burnett, which is Tier 3 Megad, of course. We did get 2 backgrounds of these Landorus. I'm hoping I can find someone to lucky swap those with, potentially. That was the road to Unova. Then we got Global Unovator right here, which was a massive event. Absolutely insane. So many shinies. Into Fuecoco Community Day, where we got 1 background shiny. Got my shiny Galarian, my only shiny Galarian Moltres ever, thanks to Marta, my fiance. I gave her my spare Articuno for the swap. Got ourselves another shiny Smeargle. The Brooks's shiny hunt to get 1 shiny was insane. It took like, 800 quests or something mental to do. Clauncher with a serious shiny boost, you can see for whatever event that was. Totodile Comday Classic, which was thwarted by the worst thunderstorm we've encountered in a very long time. Our Oricorio here, which is courtesy of Bardax 90. Someone we met actually out in Milan who'd been to the Hong Kong City Safari and managed to pull in one of these, and it was awesome to add this to the collection, to be honest. Very rare and exclusive. These are all Milan shinies here with Unknown M. There's a research day for Bear Pokemon sandwiched in there, so we have Pancham and Teddy Ursa and everything in there as well. Corsola was featured as the shiny regional for that event. Had a little trip to Poland as well, got ourselves a shiny, only ever shiny Mantike. Blacephalon and Stack Attack making their shiny debuts in the raids as well with their regional split. D-Max shiny Persimmon. 1 battle and done. More Horizon shinies where they make a return. Shiny Charcadet, we were doing a 24-hour challenge for that one. There should be a Galarian Bird sandwiched in there, but we traded it like for like on the swap. G-Max shinies coming through now with battle days and battle weekends for Entei, D-Max, Vanillite Community Day, background shiny, Pawmi Community Day, even their background shiny Pawmot. Sandygast, I think we went down to the beach at one point to get these. Shadow Reggie Gigas was a raid day, I seem to remember. D-Max shiny Sableye, good old Max Monday, or G-Max Machamp as well, which I couldn't get on the battle day. I had to remote raid constantly through the night to get one. There was some other event with Wimpod. Was this actually New York Go Fest? There you go, that's or New Jersey Go Fest, should I say. The Grand Central Terminal for in New York was Grand Central Satoddle. Background New Jersey Zacian, Turtonators and everything like that. Background shiny Salmon Zenta, Skidoo being featured, Spinders aplenty, and yeah, you can tell like the more we've got on with the game, the more shinies and crazy things that we've got. There you go, swap to shiny Galarian Bird with Chris Jan over in Paris Go Fest, I believe it was. Frigibax, that was when Marta got her Shundos on the global Go Fests. Costume Phalanx is everywhere, and there's a tiny shiny Rhyhorn. I seem to remember I was wandering around with Marta and JT through Paris getting that. Blue Stripe Basculins, we finally got ourselves Gothita, because that took a long time to get that shiny. Zamazenta background Paris, beautiful. I remember I couldn't get the Zacian, I think it was. Zacian comes a little bit later after the Jangmo-o Comday. A couple of background shinies. It was a very beautiful background, that one. Level 1 shiny Spinder. Very unusual to pick one of those up, but bicycles everywhere, the Reggies being featured, all different manner of Reggies with, it was me, background shiny of the Regidrago. We do have the Regieleki, we just recently remote traded it in a lucky swap. Definitely Global Go Fest vibes right here. All the shinies, all the raids, BT grinds with a background 96 shiny Zamazenta, and so much. And you can tell the Zacian went crazy, look. Background shinies of Zacian. Unknown D shiny, got the background shiny of Gimmighoul for the anniversary 9 years. Eevee Conde Classic, because it's not like Eevee could have another feature, but now we have background shinies of that. And we played the second day of Eevee Conde Classics weekend while at Drum and Bass. I think it was Drum and Bass All Stars or something. Festival on Silverworks Islands. That's why we've got Charlie T, Harriet Jackson, and worried about Henry and Customs House, because Customs House is the Elizabeth line stop. Lilligant Hisuian Raid Day. We've got then the road trip stuff. The road trip was such a good series of events. We've got the Pav no Kochi, which was the Manchester shiny background. Thank you for that one, because I didn't go to that event. Backgrounds, which I'm still trading to people. Caught while we were hiding from the rain in a lovely Danish bakery. G-Max Lapras Take 2. Quaxley Conde sandwiched in there with a background courtesy of Dwayne's ticket, I think it was. There we go. David giving us the background Zacian from Paris. Thank you, my man. Many Quaxley, and then it kind of just gets into all crazy bits and pieces with Galarian Corsola. That had been released earlier, but I just couldn't get it for some reason. It just took a long time. Esper being featured for a long time. Then you got the Fossil Research Day with Tyrant and Mora. We've got G-Max Butterfree, Sweet Delights or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but bonus lure thing with Combi Swirlix and something else being featured. Tandem Mouse shiny release. The Raid Day for Dialga. There you go. Shundo. Double Volibee shiny, some eggs, not quite back to back, but we got the World Championships Pikachu here. Somewhere along here there should be the red t-shirt from Indonesia. Maybe that's coming up a bit later. We do have Anaheim as a background from a trade from someone, which is nice. Shiny D-Max Drillbur, beautiful thing, as well as a shiny D-Max Rookedy, because I think we're starting to get towards the controversial max finale, shall we say. No G-Max shinies basically over the whole weekend. It was a tough one, and Eternatus got added. Rookedy Community Day, Gyarados Mega Raid Day, I think was a replay at Sharpedo Mega Raid Day. Then there was the Concierge event, background shiny Goku Bad Duck, another G-Bird shiny because it was a 24-hour challenge for that one. For the Baby Community Day, we were playing again at another Drum and Bass Festival in Gunnersbury Park. Shadow Shiny Groudon Raid Weekend, and then we've got Valencia stuff with more Mudbray shinies, Sigilyph, Krabby, Unknown V. Walk around the city and catch everything you see. So Demax shiny of Duraludon here. Metagross Raid Day, and this is where we started getting that Indonesian football t-shirt. We got a shiny of it, but somewhere around here is a lucky shiny I did with a lucky swap. We got ourselves the Kurtatooth, courtesy of Fortune Cookies invite, which is definitely a rare one. Tony T M with the Sinistea raid invite from while we were in Poland, actually in Gdansk, over the Halloween event with Teddy Ursa and Noibat with their costume debuts. So good as shinies. More Shadow Shiny for Latios, the Sea-Dots. This is definitely wild area bits and pieces now with Fleecy Boy and Tony TM with the Cresselia and Darkrai shadows. Ho-Oh and Lugia with the lead up. You've got the Tapu, Coco, Finny, Lele, and Bulu. Necrozma being featured, Grimmsnarl, super awesome background, lucky 98. It's actually a decent 98 for once from Alatic Maria. Thank you very much for that again. All the mighty different Pokemon as well. Crazy good catches. Ian delivering us a 98. Of course, it was a Goku Bad. Unknowns, more shiny mighties, the costume Bewares, the Shundo. You saw the Shundo already of Origin Dialga, the D-Max Eevee, where I got one Eevee out of like, was it 120 battles or something mental? I was doing the battles for the level up challenge. Picky Pet Comday, December Comday reroll. Then we're slowly getting towards the end of 2025. D-Max Shiny Hitmonlee, which I really didn't expect I was going to get back in the day. The Celestials Research Day with Lunatone and Solrock. We have much better luck with Lunatone. Nearly a Christmas Day Galarian Bird. Our first Galarian Zapdos Shiny, which is very much lined up for a lucky swap with Chris, if we can see it. Galarian Darumacas were everywhere. That was before they turned off the perma boosting, which is a shame. And we finally get to New Year's 2025/6. Purple Comday Classic with the backgrounds. Shiny Delmice, such a good shiny. Kurem Zekrom and Reshiram with their Raid Day, I believe it was earlier this year. Grookey Comday. Played that over at Clarkson's Farm. If you haven't seen that video, definitely worth a watch if you're a fan of Grand Tour, Clarkson's Farm, or Top Gear or whatever. Shadow Shinies are plenty. I think it was a Shadow Shiny. Was it a Raid Day? Vulpix with the Kanto and the Alolan forms. We know about this. It wasn't that long ago. A shiny Salandit, which was not my first, but it's a male. The shiny Fido, one of my favorite, most recent releases in terms of a shiny. Absolutely love that Pokemon. Bird Pokemon there. Shiny D-Max Growlithe that was quite recent as well. We are very much now into the G-Max stuff with Meowth that wasn't that long ago. G-Max Meowth, the Keldeo shiny we caught at the top of the Griffith Observatory. Larvesta swaps, this is literally Kalos Tool here, with the background Goku Bad Hanny 98 victory bell right there. May not have been a particularly good event, Kalos Tour, but we got tons of good shiny catches from it. Unknown ZXY, Holucha, and Klefki, and we are very much getting towards the tail end of a LAX shiny Seviper right here, which is caught just as we arrived at the terminal before leaving. Background 98, of course, a Goku Bad. All the different costume Pikachus, the shadows, the lead up, the roads to Kalos, or whatever it was we had back a few weeks ago. Kind of funny that Dunkers and I swapped our shiny Tinkatinks and now it's getting a community day. You know, Dragonite being its mega debut, and we're really getting now towards more recent stuff. The Ditto shiny costumes, the Score Bunnies with the Shundos, scrolling right on through because our most recent shinies would be the Research Day stuff for Feebas, Clamperl, and everything like that. And actually our most recent shinies are Random Egg Hatch, which was while I was doing my Regice battles, but Goku Bad, of course, is a random special trade, Shiny Zangoose. There we go. 6,049 shinies in the storage. That was a long one, wasn't it? But stick with me, one of the final things we're looking at is the Galarian Bird total. 22 in the storage with a mixture of shinies and non-shinies. Some have been Master Balls, some have not. But I would say Galarian Zapdos started out being the most lucky one. The first one we caught was the 723 back in 2022 with a random throw. I think I was walking my parents' dog at this point and got the Galarian Zapdos. Just have a screen recording of it. We do have a second Galarian Zapdos here from the same year, about a month apart or so. Galarian Articuno came through in October of 2022. So we had 3 birds in 2022. This one was courtesy of Randy because we actually gave him an Articuno in swap for getting the Moltres. I couldn't get the Moltres for the life of me. Very rarely spawned for me, even though I am Team Valor, and it never caught. That was a swap. We did have 2 Articuno and 2 Zapdos in 2022. Then we got this, 2023. It was almost an entire year, you can see. We finally caught another Galarian Zapdos, and it was actually 87%. 2024, this one is an interesting story because it's a Master Ball. I'm going to keep this on screen right now just for the sake of it, because this is a video that never happened due to iCloud and screen recording and phone overheating issues. Over the course of 2024 Go Fest, we were going backwards and forwards between New York City and Randall's Island. And every single boat trip over to Randall's Island each day, ran my daily adventure incense for the 15 minutes. I think this was when Roar of Time was active, so I could actually boost it because there wasn't any double incense duration at that point. So I ran it and Roar of Timed it to overlap to getting towards, you know, the island. So used the ferry journey, recorded all 3 ferry journeys and seeing what we could get. The 6th of July, I forget exactly. We encountered a Galarian Bird on the river on the ferry over to Randall's Island. And I was like, this is insane. I still hadn't caught a Galarian Moltres at this point, so I Master Balled it. But my phone, it wasn't this one. It was a very, very old phone. It was overheating. It was incredibly hot at that time of year. And the iCloud and the phone just said, screen recording failed. So I lost all the screen recording for that particular moment, and I only have the raw footage. I've never been able to edit it together. Yes, it's a New York Bird from Go Fest, which made this next one all the more ridiculous because in October, randomly, I wasn't even recording this one, just caught it in Greenford, Ultra Ball. This is when we get into the Safari Balls with the wild area of 2024. It was the only G-Bird we managed to catch with the wild area Safari Balls. I called it Christmas DOS because it's nearly Christmas time. I saw it, it's 1995, same year I was born in, so I was like, I've got to Master Ball this one. I don't even care if it's terrible. It's 1995 CP. January 25, we get ourselves this 2653 Galarian Zapdos, which was a Ultra Ball catch. I'm not quite sure where this segment's in because obviously this is showing when Blue Eye Bandit got theirs. Lucky swap with the shiny over the course of Sinnoh Tour. Didn't turn out too bad, 91%er. Got the shiny G-Bird, you've obviously seen that one, but then we had this random one, 31st of March, Moltres, random Ultra Ball catch. Zapdos towards the end of May was a nice capture with an Ultra Ball as well. We've got this one, we swapped like for like with Chris Jarm once again. This was one that we caught the only time we've ever had G-Birds in timed research. We chose Zapdos because I like Zapdos out of the 3 G-Birds. JT Valor caught it, it was 2-star of course. Towards the tail end of August, we got this 504 CP G Zapdos caught. Pretty terrible stats, but it's good. Shiny Galarian. This was over the course of a 24-hour challenge with the
Concierge event. This was actually caught very early on in that challenge as well. And it's if it was lower level, it could be PvP, but another Galarian Articuno captured randomly. This was Master Balled because 2872, I seem to remember, had the potential to be 100% IV. For one of the numbers, it only was like a 5% chance, but I'm going to Master Ball something that has a 5% chance of being 100% because that's about the same as a shiny chance on a Raid Boss Legendary. So it didn't turn out to be 100%, but I did Master Ball. And one of the more recent ones, obviously you've seen the Galarian Zapdos Shiny. It's now labeled ready for a like-for-like swap with Chris. And really nearly at the tail end of 2025, we got this one randomly with a Ultra Ball Galarian Moltres. And this year we have managed to capture a Galarian Articuno not too long ago. And that's our most recent one. So there we go, that's in the G-Book collection. Just quickly looking over the Mythicals that we've got, I've had to exclude Darkrai and Genesect and Deoxys because the older catches from Pokemon GO don't have a tag of how they were captured. It just shows general captures. So there would have been very old Darkrai's and Genesects and Deoxys included in this, but our very first one was Mew, 2018, 89%. Celebi came out later in the same year, ours was 82%, pretty terrible. Jirachi was caught as part of Go Fest Germany. You can see they're caught in Dortmund, 2019, 84% Jirachi. Victini caught Go Fest 2020, 80%, pretty much the bottom of the rung when it comes to it. Shiny Celebi, 91%, not too bad on that one actually, caught in December of 2020. Here's the Mew Shiny, caught in 2021. I remember it was a lovely spring day when I got this on the IVs, 13, 14, 13, not horrendous to be honest. The fabled Meloetta, the OG one from 2021's Go Fest. Rubbish basically, 10, 15, 11. We do have a Hooper this was from the whole Special Research Saga, Mischievous something or other over the course of the September, October, November season of 2021. Form change at the end of it. Terrible 2-star Hooper. Our first Sarude, which is part of the Special Research, awful stats. Like, my mythical IV luck is pretty dead when it comes to special researches. A second Celebi came as part of Johto Tour, I believe it was, 2022. Again, pretty flat on the IVs. Our first Shaman from the Global Go Fest, really poor. Going through some Melton there, we got our Seattle Shaman right there, the Skyform, whatever you call it. Bit better, 3-star. Got another one as part of Global Go Fest on the 27th. So this is the only time they seem to have given you more Mythicals was Shaman for whatever reason. Our first Keldeo was part of that nice expensive paid ticket back in the day. It was rubbish. Shiny Jirachi for Hoenn Tour, absolutely lovely. 3-star goodness. Nearly the floor with the Shaman that was free as part of a research for 2023 April. Diancie from London Go Fest, definitely my best mythical overall. 93%, obviously that has the Mega, and we're working towards at the current stage of getting it shiny through the Masterwork research. The Wolverine gifting us the ticket for the second Zarude that was available came out pretty much exactly the same as the last one. I think it was 1 IV point better. Shiny Shaman, 87%, right kind of middle of the rung in terms of the IVs, which is lovely. Mars Shadow we caught in New York for 2024. It was pretty flat, barely scraping the 3 stars. Victini's second appearance as part of, I believe it was Unova Tour. Pretty dead 3-star, but Shiny Meloetta, you may remember we caught that at Stonehenge with Ian and Trainer Tips when we took Trainer Tips to go and get his Stonjourner cap. 3-star, Shiny Meloetta, 87%. Volcanion from Jersey City Go Fest. Not the best IV, but is a really cool looking Pokemon. And more recently, Shiny Keldeo, obviously caught that recently at the top at the Griffith Observatory. Fantastic. Love to get that one. Well, we hit level 80 as well. And then Hooper and Bound came from the Go Pass. It was basically rubbish. So there we go. Those are Mythicals, people. I promise we're getting to the end of everything, but it'd be stupid of me to not include this. And given how I'm not a massive fan of this factor of the game, but we had to do it to get to level 80 anyway. PvP. I have 146 Pokemon tagged for different PvP. Whether they are actually decently ranked or whatever, a lot of them are going to be very unrelatable these days to the current meta because the meta changes so much, and I stopped caring about PvP once COVID pandemic stopped being a thing, basically, because we could go outside and play like normal. So we've got a range of different things. I don't know if they're all like, they used to be meta relevant back in the day. I always try and look out for low attack, high defense and HP sometimes, seeing different things, but Toxicroak used to be okay back in the day. Melmetal somewhat usable, I guess. Oh, if they ever become useful, like Shiftry back in the day was potentially good pick. Even got, look, Beedrill with its Comday move. Apparently Great League, 100% IV. Got Shadows, got Diggersby in there, Shadow Skarmory, which I have used in more recent battles actually. Got Galvantula. If it's a Hundo and it falls on Ultra League, it gets the PvP tag because you just have to level 50 it. We've got this, which I think was our first ever Buzzwole from Seattle, you can see. It is tagged for PvP because it's 10 12, 13. Didn't really think about trading for one back in the day, but who cares? Oh, look, we got Ultra League. Apparently this is Ultra League rank 1. Probably isn't these days. You can see it's 1700 CP, never powered it up. I thought I'd just show you guys. I have a few what would be rank 1s back in the day, but whether we use them at all, I have no idea. I'm not going to show you all of them because it would be stupid to do so, but we have currently in the storage 1,540 different background Pokemon. Obviously, more of them are very much recent catches with how the events have been laid out, but some of them are location card related. So rather than going through the recent stuff, let's scroll back to the very beginning where we have Groudon. Las Vegas. This was the first time I think they had a catch card for an event, and I stupidly, before they implemented the whole thing in the new trade stuff where you've got the icon, you've also got the background that shows up, it didn't tell you if you had a background on your Pokemon. And I actually gave my only Kyogre with the background from Las Vegas to Marta in a special trade, because obviously a legendary counts as a special trade anyway, so she's got my Las Vegas background Kyogre. I have my Groudon still sat with me with Las Vegas in the background, but we do have quite a few different London ones. Fantastic. And then we have New York City. I didn't actually get a shiny with the background of that one, but we do have Barcelona in there. So we've got quite a lot of different City Safari stuff. We've got LA and everything like that with the Dialga and Palkia, just endless location cards and catch cards and things like that. But what are your totals looking like compared to mine in this video? And I thought to round out, we'd look finally at the typing medals. Coming back round to the medals, so normal types we've caught 152,824. 36,000 plus fighting types, we've got 88,000 plus flying types. The poison types are 65,000 and a little bit. Ground types 62,700 and a bit. Rock types 48 nearly and a half thousand. Bug types are on their way to 50k catches for that. Ghost types are 39,000 and a little bit. 31,800 steel types been caught. 55,000 nearly and a half fire types. You can tell I live in the UK. 124,991 water types have been caught. 83,400 grass types. 61,700 electric, 67,963 on the psychic, 39,600 on the ice types, dragon types 36,461, and we're getting towards the tail end of them, 40,499 on the dark types, and I think finally 46,388 on the fairy types. And we'll come back to the top CP page right now. You can see I've got so many Pokemon that are level 50'd, Shinies, Hundos, whatever, over 4,000 CP. So that is my Pokemon GO account. I think I've covered pretty much everything I could think of, and God only knows how long this video is. Thank you very much for sticking through it if you have done already. And most importantly, comment below your stats, your catches, your things like that. What are you most proud of? Because people's collections vary, that is for sure. But I will say, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button down below and stick around for plenty more Pokemon GO content that, trust me, will be a shorter video. There's plenty more content available on the channel right here. I'm going to put a bit of Barcelona City Safari action right there. 24-hour challenge over here. If you haven't seen the 24-hour challenges, they are the most hardcore grind that we've done. We've been doing them since 2021, and it's great to see so many people giving it a go. But I will say, peeps, until the next time, do take care.